Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Professional golfers John Peterson and J.J. Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow.
With Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome into OTB here on this Monday, November 28th, in a very fitting way to start the show. It looks like we've run into some technical difficulties while we're having trouble kind of getting it off the ground just now. And I say fitting because that's basically how it felt with LSU on Saturday, where a 6-1, 9-2 SEC West champion LSU football Tigers went on to take on a 4-7, 1-6 Texas A&M Aggie football team that was at its lowest point it has been over the past decade. And as we said last week, this was the final game in which if you lost, people would be upset, right? It was the final kind of risk. If you won this and won 10 regular season games and everything else would be lanyap, Georgia, bowl game, whatever. You could also completely break the spirit of Texas A&M. Given the low point they were currently at, given the transfer portal about to open up on the other side of the weekend, and yet, or I guess one more week till that portal window opens up. But in the end, you don't just lose, but maybe in the most shocking way possible, you just get your butt kicked by a bunch of 18-year-olds. Like, you got beat up. You got beat up on the line of scrimmage. A-Chain beat you up. Defensively, they didn't miss any tackles. Hit you hard. You never threatened them deep or over the top. Just a disappointment, really, from beginning to end. And it's not wholly outside of some of the performances that we've seen out of this LSU team sometimes this year. But in every other game, they found a way to make the plays that they needed to in order to win. And I'm not counting like Tennessee or Florida State in this. I'm talking about like the Arkansas, Auburn. Once they started to roll a little bit, where they didn't have it, but they still found a way to win. But they just played with fire too many times. And this time they played with fire with some really good freshmen. And it was just an incredible wet fart of a night, followed up with an even more disgusting bout of moist flatulation on Sunday in that Saints game. Just an awful, terrible holiday weekend of football to start this final push. But I'm very excited to have you back, Jake. What's going on, man?
Thanks for the setup. But everything you said is actually factual. You talk about playing with fire for LSU. When you look at just conference play, so just SEC games, points for, 223. Points against, 207.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells you with the 6-2 record, I mean, you're that close, and it lets you know. And I know the Tennessee game, obviously that score kind of puts this a little bit on the scale of points against, but still, like when you look at that, you played a lot of close games. You were able to make those plays. You look at Florida, you look at Auburn, you look at Arkansas. You're able to make the plays to win the football game. And then this one, A&M did not allow you to, because you said it. They were the more physical football team on both lines of scrimmage, and that was maybe the most surprising thing. Like LSU not taking shots over the top. Okay, we've seen that before. We've seen LSU be able to overcome that. But you got beat up on the line of scrimmage really, I'd say for the first time maybe since the opener.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
the Tennessee game, like you just got beat by a team that at that point was much better than you, obviously, and their offense, and they're pushing the ball down the field. But this is the first time since Florida State that you kind of got beat up. And then defensively, like you were so good as far as lane integrity on, Ole Miss game, Alabama game against the rush, and then this game you over pursued almost every run.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was something. Even if you did get pushed on the defensive line in the front seven, you were overrunning everything. And a good running back, and they've got a great one in A-Chain, is going to find those holes. So we can break down the game, but it was surprising the way LSU lost. Right. Yeah. They lost to a bad football team, and they got beat up front, which they hadn't in a very long time.
Yeah, and I think you're hitting on, to me, what I can't really explain, and maybe dive into the film later today. We'll tell the full story, Jake, but really they attacked LSU in the way that if you looked on paper, it's how LSU should be vulnerable. They rotate 3 guys on the interior, right? Like, in theory, throughout this entire year, you should have, if your O-line was good enough, and LSU played some very good rushing teams, you should have been able to run, and eventually wear that group down and then start to dominate by the end. I think what's been surprising all year is that somehow that never happened. Not against an Arkansas team that averages 1 million rush yards per game, not against an Ole Miss team that averages 1 million rush yards per game. Like, Mekhi Wingo and company found a way every single week to fight and find a way to not have that become a problem. And it's like, you thought, I was like, man, okay, if they pass those tests, then surely it's not going to be this awful Texas A&M offensive line that we have clowned all year long that is finally going to be the one that gets it done. And then it was even like, you got to credit this A&M line, because like the play that really stands out in my head, and by the way, nobody's feeling 100% in the studio today. We are pushing through this. I'm dripping sweat. But like the 3rd and 7, when I think they were near the red zone, and they run that twist with Perkins coming off of the edge and bending around to the inside. And they've used it 1 million times this year to catch a quarterback that tries to escape the pocket late. Only this time, the A&M guard perfectly picked up Harold Perkins, and Wigman ends up getting the first down. They end up scoring a touchdown. So this A&M O-line that has been bad was anything but Saturday, as they just kicked LSU's ass up front.
Well, I mean, when you look at what LSU did against Ole Miss, what they did against Arkansas, what they've done against the teams that have run the ball effectively, those are teams that, even though they can be physical, they still run a bulk of their runs out of gun. They run counter out of gun, they run power, they run zone, they run all of. This might actually be the first time that A&M's outdated offense played to their benefit.
Yeah.
They played with tight ends. They played with that fullback played more than any fullbacks played in the last 5 years, maybe in the SEC. I mean, 24 was out there as much as anybody. And that was different. That was a different way to run the football. So you might, you go against an Ole Miss and Arkansas and Alabama, teams that run the football better. But they lined up and said, you know what we're doing, and you can't stop it. Like, that's the most deflating thing. Yeah. They went old school, something we've clowned them about all season long. Everybody's clowned them. And it's not a recipe for success. It's not going to work in many games, as you see with them having one of the worst records
the only
in the Power Five.
They scored 30 was Sam Houston.
Exactly.
And they even and that's take out the defensive
touchdown.
touchdown.
UMass held them to 20 last week.
Yeah, and take out the defensive touchdown, they still put up 30 offensively by the time it was all said and done.
So they lined up. It went old school, and they pushed you all over the place. Again, so the things that we've talked about all season long that you've been able to get away with 3 rotating defensive linemen, being really good in the front 7, well, they kind of challenged you and said, this is what we're going to do. And Wegman made the plays that he had to make when he had to make them, and so it gave you enough of a threat in the passing game, but they lined up with a fullback and a tight end and ran old-school Jimbo Fisher offense.
Yeah, it made it incredibly easy on Wigman when you can run the ball like he did. He wasn't asked to do a lot, but he did enough in that first half. And the problem is, again, I do believe this was a brittle culture that they have at A&M right now. And if you had managed to apply enough pressure, I think you could have broken them. And it looked like maybe to start that second half when you have the 3-and-out touchdown, 3-and-out, you're like, okay, here it comes. Here comes the killing blow. And then on 3rd and 1, Jaden pulls instead of handing it, which would have been an easy first down. And, these are the things that just happen.
Easy first, who knows where it ends up. I mean,
it was wide. It was you could drive a bus through that hole. Mack truck, as they used to say. And instead it turns into a scoop and score. And that panic that was starting to spread around the A&M sideline completely subsided. And the crowd came back alive, and after that, that was a wrap. Brian Kelly even said in the postgame, they never recovered from that. All right, when we get back, we'll continue to break down this game. We'll check out your comments, youtube.com/1045ESPN, the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com, 927-8300, 927-8300. Go Roof today for all of your roofing needs. You're going to find you get a beautiful new roof every shingle time, okay? When you work with Go Roof, you don't have to be upset about any talented 18-year-olds ruining your Saturday night, okay? Because they're going to make sure that the job gets done quickly, efficiently, safely, and affordably. And if insurance covers it, great. If not, they can work with you to find whatever monthly payment options work for you, because all they care about is taking care of the community's roofing needs. So get that free professional estimate. Everybody's licensed, bond, insured, and then they give you peace of mind after the work is done by giving you a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So they support their work going forward. GEAUXroof.com, 927-8300. Roofs up. Go Roof today.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU's trip to Kyle Field and the Saints-Niners. We'll also hear from Brian Kelly. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob, the 2022 LAB Prestige Award winner for Best Sports Radio Show. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Do people still do Whamageddon? Did we just eliminate OTB listeners from their Whamageddon? Do y'all even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Isn't it like where you're not supposed to listen to this until a certain time?
Yeah, you just try to go, which I don't know why you would, because this song is S tier, but you try to go the entire Christmas season without running into Wham in the wild.
Nah, I don't want to be a part of that.
No, I agree. I've never partook, but people in the past have. Dr. Noss in the chat. Who the hell is Dr. Noss? With his check mark in this name. I've never seen that. Anyway, Bite for you said, if anyone would have said in August, quote, LSU will win the SEC West and go 9-3, then everyone would have laughed. Today, everyone is upset over a bad loss. It happens. It sucks, but 9-3 and SEC West champs. Yeah, that is fair and true. But it sucks that you are now in the same boat that Tennessee is of having to do those sorts of mental gymnastics and contextual explaining away, right? Like in the same way, yeah, if you would have told Tennessee they were going to go 6-2 in the SEC and 10-2 in the regular season, they would have been ecstatic. They have never sniffed success like that over the past decade and a half. But as we always say on the show, what actually decides the happiness level of fans is not the results themselves, it's where they land in relation to the expectation. So when Tennessee has minus 500 odds to make the playoffs, and all they have to do is beat South Carolina and Vandy, yeah, those Volunteer fans are counting on a playoff appearance. And then Spencer Rattler, shout out Spencer Rattler and USC, Shane Beamer, big time weekend winners. We can get to them a bit later. But yeah, so like Tennessee's still happy, and I'm sure the Vandy win made them feel better. But in the end, they aren't as happy as they could be because it looked as if they were going to the playoff for the first time in school history, and they completely blew it. So in the same way, when LSU is sitting there with a chance to get a 10-win regular season, what was it, guys, for the 9th or 10th time? Maybe 10th or 11th time in school history? I can't remember. We added it up the other day. When that's the expectation, and you're going against a team that you already hate, and you don't want to have any bragging rights over you, and they're awful, and you have a chance to break them, and you let that all slip away. Like, I do think with distance, you will see the value of this year, and it is a year that should be celebrated overall. But I also think it is completely fair to be upset about a bad loss against a bad team that you were objectively better than. And now when you look, you got to play Georgia, likely drops you to 9-4, and then you're running the risk of 9-5 with a bowl game unless you can pull off the win. And you maybe, we'll see how it all shakes out, you could have potentially cost yourself a chance at a big bowl like a New Year's Six.
Yeah, I mean, you could have beaten A&M, gone into this Georgia game, gotten beat by whatever the score would have been, and still had a really solid opportunity to make a New Year's Six bowl game.
Yeah.
And now it feels like you've got to win this game to get into the Sugar Bowl, because if you win, Georgia's still going to the playoff. And so the next SEC team, as the SEC champ, obviously you're going to the Sugar Bowl. But now, like, you lose this game, you're not. Like Alabama, shocker, is going to take that spot in the Sugar Bowl if they don't find their weasel way, weasel it in there to the playoff.
More salt in the wound there. You opened up the door for the team that you beat to go to a better bowl game than you because you couldn't handle your business against A&M. And even Alabama barely handled their business against A&M, but they did indeed handle it.
Yeah, I mean, A&M threw a pass. Well, Jimbo didn't call a play into the end zone, but a play to the 1 yard line for that game, last play of the game. But so now you're probably looking at some type of a Orlando Bowl situation, Citrus Bowl situation, which still, again, like coming into it, you're like, let's get to a bowl game. And that, that's the expectation is to win 7. And still, like, we'll talk about, how the season played out compared to what we thought it would be coming into the season. I mean, the field still that I usually have out here every day picked them to finish 7th in the West. So I understand all of that. But, Sugar Bowls and New Year's Six bowl games are stepping stones to what can be special. I talk about my experience when I was playing all the time. In 2006, like, we felt like we were a really good team. If there was a playoff, we might have won the whole thing. But we got to a Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame. It was a stepping stone for a 2007 national championship. 2018, you go to the Fiesta Bowl against UCF. You win that. 2019, you win the national championship. They can be something that really sets you up for success. And I thought if this team could get to a Sugar Bowl, they still can. They can go out there, they can win and do that whole deal. I'm not saying it's dead, but even with a loss, if you beat A&M, I think you get into that Sugar Bowl. You get into a New Year's Six bowl game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and then that sets up next year to be a really successful year.
Well, and I mean, I went through the same thing in the 10-11 season where now New Year's Six didn't exist at the time yet, but being named in the Cotton Bowl to finish 11-2 and finish in the top 5, like you said, became that stepping stone to making the Natty the next year. This kind of interesting, Jake. First loss for Brian Kelly in November since when? Like 2017. I believe.
Yeah, 2017.
November is for contenders. That has been the message, and LSU has abided by that, as all Brian Kelly teams have over the past few years. But in the end, here on this day in A&M, and you could hear it after the game, he was sorely disappointed and couldn't really fully explain it beyond saying they just didn't prepare them well enough. And I guess maybe the team was guilty of falling into the all too human trap of thinking that you were just going to roll the ball out there and win because they were 1-6 in the SEC, but that's kind of, and it's so funny, Jake, because the entire year I've been worried about A&M doing this, right? Because they have talent. What happens if they put it together for a game? The entire year we've been talking about that, and finally I had given myself over to the idea that it just wasn't going to happen. The UMass game was a straw that broke the camel's back, and this was, no, you know what? It's just not going to happen. It's just a bad team, but it actually is almost a commentary on the bad job that Jimbo and company has done, because you see what this team could be capable of when it locks in, and it's actually motivated and executing well. But it finally happened. Like the thing that I feared all year that then I finally relented against, of course, it comes to pass as soon as you accept that it isn't going to. There is a wonderful touch of irony in there. That's why college football is so much fun, man. You can't, you just, there's so many variables at play. You just never quite know what is going to happen.
Yeah, and it's wild to think, but like that's A&M's last game. Like that's how bad they were. Like that is their last game. They will not be going to a bowl game. They fall short of a bowl game. And that team is having their exit meetings today. And you're still getting ready for, you're going to be playing for another month.
Which probably helps them too, because there's always a little juice in the air when it's time to go home, right? I mean, like when you know you got a little break coming up, there's always a little, all right, let's lay it all on the field.
Yeah,
And then we're chilling.
There was a year that the NFL, I think we were 8-7, but we had already been eliminated, and we're playing in Denver, and it was as free as I've ever seen a football team play. And we went out there, and I think Denver went to the playoffs that year. I'm not sure. I have to double check that, but we just beat the hell out of them. And we had like a bunch of backups, like we had a bunch of guys sitting out the game, but like Philip was kind of calling like his own game a little bit. Like North's like, hey, what do you like here? He's just like, oh shoot, I don't know, coach. And then he goes out there and he calls it, and we played free, and there's something to what you're talking about, but still, unfortunately, you let that beat you.
Yeah. What did you think about? And we may have to go. Actually, let's just stay on clock here. Let's go to break, and we'll get back. We'll talk about what you thought about like Jaden Daniels plays, maybe what was going on with the offense that was causing it to sputter. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. Toyotathon going on right now. A great resource for seeing what they can offer you is allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. You go on the website, you can see a lot of the great deals that are offered, whether you're looking for like a Tundra, a Sienna, a Camry, whatever the case may be, a RAV4, a Highlander. You get it, all the vehicles, new, Toyota certified used vehicles, rent as well. Also a chat box where you can just talk with sales or service members right there and get your questions answered, or just go see them off of Airline Highway. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, if you're looking for a rental, per-day rental prices, remember the full fleet is available. So no matter what you need, midsize, full-size SUV, truck, van, sedan, hybrid, all of it is available in those rental prices we tell you about every single day. Very competitive. Check it out online. You can find it on their website. Also, like T-Bob says, buying, leasing, they can do it all over at allstartoyota.batonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join me, Jimmy, out at Charles Handegrift. Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. We're at Spoken Hub Restaurant on Government Street in Mid-City. We recap the weekend pro and college football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. A couple members of the chat blaming the Baton Rouge media for talking about how bad Texas A&M was all week long. You're right. Hand up. It's on us. Should have talked about how good they were.
They are bad. That's why they're not. That's why their season's done. It's done before December.
Yeah,
because they're a bad football team.
The
that
team
beat
that
you.
just finished last in the SEC. Okay, let's talk Jaden Daniels, Jake, because the offense's game was okay, and with some of the underneath and short stuff, Jaden was doing a good job of getting the ball out of his hands. Maybe a couple of drops, really big drops from Kyron Lacey, a guy who's been very sure-handed all year, desperately cost you, right? The first drop would have been a first down. A&M then turns that into a 15-play, 85-yard drive, somewhere around 80, 90-yard drive, about 8 minutes off the clock, touchdown. Set the tone, right? It told you immediately, hey, pack a lunch, okay? Because this wasn't going to be today. We're going to drag you down here in the mud, and we're just going to look to fist fight. So bad drop there. Obviously, when you're going in to try to score, to take the lead 14-10, had a wide open 3rd and 2 that maybe could have scored on, drop that. You have to end up setting for a field goal. Credit Damon Ramos for making it, even if he made it barely. But outside of some of that short stuff and a couple key scrambles, you saw what has been Jaden Daniels' biggest recurring issue crop up once again this game, which is when teams drop 7 or 8 into coverage and they play coverage, kind of with those two middle linebackers playing that pseudo zone, double quarterback spy sort of look. Jaden's just completely unwilling to push the ball down the field. And I know, if we go back and watch the film, especially with somebody like Matt Flynn, there are opportunities there, but for whatever reason, all year long, he just hasn't been able to see them. I will say that at least I kind of like it because that's something very clear, a very clear and discernible thing that you can work on throughout the entirety of the offseason. But what did you think out of some of the Jaden Daniels hesitancy?
Yeah, we were talking about it during the break. A&M had kind of the same game plan that Arkansas had. They were going to drop multiple people into coverage. They were not going to allow Jaden Daniels to have running lanes as well. They used spies and different spies. It wasn't just a linebacker. They would drop a defensive lineman. He would become the spy, and they were trying to contain him as far as, look, if you want to rush outside of the pocket, that's fine, but you're not going to just gash us up the middle like we've seen Jaden do so many times. And he was reluctant to throw the ball down the field. I'll go check it out. We'll have to look at the pass chart once it's posted as far as what his deepest ball down the field was, but I'm going to assume it's going to kind of align with some of those games that I don't want to say he struggled because he was still productive, but he was productive with his legs and not his arm. And I think that's going to tell the same story. And usually we do our film reviews on Tuesday, so I'll be interested to see exactly what was happening down the field. And there was a couple of big plays. Obviously, in a game like this, you can go back, you can look at some of the drops. The 3rd and 2, the second one, like that might have scored. I mean, you're talking about a 4-point swing.
Yeah.
Another big play in the game was the pass interference. That was picked up. And this isn't, hey, the referees. No, I mean, it's one play, but you're talking about keeping a drive going. You're talking about getting momentum going into the locker room because obviously, like, they got the ball in the second half to start. Now, you did a good job getting them off the field and getting the ball back, but, like, those are some of those crucial key plays in this game, and that 3rd and 2 is as big as any of them.
Yeah, the 3rd and 2 is brutal. We have my number for it in the chat who asks, is that not also the coach's fault, talking about when they're dropping and playing coverage, is that not the coach's fault for creating ways to run off of those scenarios?
I would have loved LSU just to say, you know what, we're going to run the football all day long.
Yeah.
It was there. And Texas A&M's rush defense was last in the SEC, and it was last by 22 yards. South Carolina was 13th. And I think they gave up somewhere 185, 188, and A&M was well over 200 yards. And you were having success running the football.
Yeah.
Like John Emery was having a lot of success. Now, Noah Cain, that's a player that
give Emery 20 carries.
Noah Cain's going to put his head down. If the play gives you 6 yards, he's going to get all 6. But that's who he is, and that's fine. And that's what he was doing in this game. And then Emery was coming in, and it looked like he was a threat to hit his head on the goalpost every time he touched the ball. And I realized, like, when you get down a little bit, I don't want to say you start to panic, but you try to find big chunk plays. When in this game, like, you could have run the football all day long if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And on the fumble play that cost you, and really, I mean, 17-17, and you had the momentum. It was 17-17.
Coming out of half,
right?
3 and out, touchdown.
3 and out, touchdown. You 3 and out, you get the ball back. If you hand it off, like, it's going to be a first down without question. And then you fumble it. You do absolutely everything you can't do in that moment. But I would have loved to seen them on that drive, even if they punt the football, like what that game looks like, because that was so massive to give them that life because you grabbed the momentum quickly in the second half. And I'll tell you, watching the game, it's like, oh, okay, here we are. It's good. Like, you're good now.
100%.
Like, you settled in. This is the game that you should have been playing. You found your way. You're good. You're a second-half football team. Certainly a third-quarter football team. Then the fourth quarter, the stats kind of get back to even. But in the third quarter, this entire season, you've dominated. And in that moment, like, you gave everything you built up in equity back to A&M.
Yeah, and you never recovered. It was, I mean, if you think about the moments that defined the losses this year, there's like the Tennessee fumble on the kickoff that immediately just set the tone for that game, and you were kind of dead 30 seconds into the game, like before it ever even began. Certainly, again, Kelly did say it after the game, they did not recover from that scoop and score this time around. And it gave, like we talked about, a brittle A&M culture that would have been willing to break. It gave them the exact juice and life they needed to not just hold off on breaking, but they get the confidence that they were going to beat you down. Some people trying to blame the refs in the chat. Look, man, you got your ass kicked. You can't blame the refs. I mean, they came out and went 15 plays, 80-some yards, 8-minute drive on you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they almost they were like 6 of 7 on third down, or 7 of 8, I believe, in the first half. And the reason is because they were consistently getting to 3rd and 1 because they were consistently beating your ass in the trenches. So no. I haven't seen the exact comment. It seems like maybe our guy Keaton Berrien had a new child in the chat. Congrats, Keaton. The new addition to the family. Nice little Christmas surprise.
Probably wasn't a surprise.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
He probably saw it coming.
Yeah.
For a couple of months, maybe 9.
That's fair. Anything else, Jake? Because look, there's a ton of actual college football news to get to, right? Hires all over the place at Nebraska. Lane Kiffin staying at Ole Miss. Auburn is. Imagine this: the Auburn fan and booster base is in a toxic civil war. Can't fathom it.
Tell me more.
Yeah, just insanity. Guys, you could say that refs didn't do you any favors, and that's fine. But you were 6-1, they were 1-6. Beat them. Okay, like I don't want to hear any blaming or finger pointing. This is one of those tap your chest, hand up. This is on us. Okay, this is on us. Anything else, Jake, before we kind of move on from this game? Obviously, we'll see if film reviews anything worth really talking about tomorrow that we can't already see. I mean, at this point, you got to flush it and you got to go just lock in and try to do whatever you can against Georgia.
Because Georgia's not going to feel sorry for you one bit. And Georgia's going to be probably the best coached overall team that you face this year. Certainly as far as talent, they're going to be the best team that you face this year. And you've got to get ready because the last thing you want to do is go into that stadium on that stage and get embarrassed because
you thought A&M was good on the offensive line
and defensive line.
Yeah.
Because
wait till you have to square up with Jalen Carter.
Like no one thinks this is going to be a game. Like you've got game day going to other championship games. Like when's the last time game day hadn't gone like to the SEC championship game?
Yeah.
Like it feels like a long time. Could be wrong. I don't know. Like this game doesn't have the juice that you want it to have. You've got to bring the juice into this game.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you had a 3-loss SEC
2016
West champion?
Oh, well, SEC East 2016, Florida had 3 losses in this game.
Okay.
Last time a 3-loss team, I believe, has won the SEC championship game was 2001 LSU.
Yep. Was that game? Who knows, man? I mean, you got to play the game, right? So see what happens and then just lock in after whatever happens there. So Brandon White says, I don't recall Lacey having to drop all year until Saturday. Yeah, Kyron Lacey, like we said, was very dependable and very good all year.
Yeah, even sometimes, remember, he would take a shot.
Yeah,
I forget, it was the Alabama game. He caught one, took a shot, and held on to it.
Yeah, it's not a personal shot. It's just an objective reviewing of the facts, right, of the kind of tension points in the game that helped to create the result. All right, when we get back, let's go ahead and close out hour number 1 of OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Hope you made it through Brown Friday. Not any major issues. You ever heard of Brown Friday, Jake?
Only because of you.
Apparently, supposedly, busiest day in plumbing. And look, if you have any residential or commercial plumbing needs, you already know where to go. It's centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Payne family's been at it for a long time now, man, over 50 years. So check out centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, I'm glad you survived it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Barely.
You didn't have to make the call. But if you had to make the call,
maybe.
24/7 emergency services.
Yep.
And we tell y'all all the time, like it was obviously the holidays, like doesn't matter. Like 24/7 means 24/7. So 225-925-8552 is the number. You can find out information about bathroom remodels, tankless water heaters on their website. You can schedule everything on their website. Check them out, centralplumbing.org. Again, 225-925-8552.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
It's Hunt Palmer. Join me Monday, 1 to 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, reacting to LSU and Texas A&M, as well as the Saints and Niners. Hunt and Hill, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We push it through, man. We making it. Making it slowly but surely. We got Bill Bender coming up at 8. Talk about some of these Big Ten hires. You got Luke Fickell going to Wisconsin.
That just seems
sneaky coup by the Badgers.
Yeah, I like talk a lot of Big Ten over on off campus, and I just assume like Jim Leonard had a really firm hold on that job because like you make the move to move on from Paul Chryst, and then it's like you got Jim Leonard here. Jim Leonard, somebody that was offered an NFL defensive coordinator job by the Packers, turned it down. He was going to be the interim. He played there, starred there. You're like, oh, this is going to be the head coach. And now there was some mixed results as far as him as an interim coach. It wasn't, they didn't have this huge turnaround. It was better play, but it wasn't anything where they rolled off like 6 in a row. But you just felt like he had a pretty good shot at getting the full-time job. And then out of nowhere, you go get the guy that rumors were last year turned down USC and Notre Dame to stay at Cincinnati.
Damn, I did not realize
and
that.
You go get him. Now, a lot of that had to do apparently like he didn't want to live on the West Coast. Him and his family didn't want to move there. That's one of the reasons they didn't take that job. But he valued Wisconsin enough because it's not like Cincinnati fell off the map. I mean, Cincinnati was still a good football team this year, ranked a majority of the year.
Yeah. And if they would have beaten Tulane, right, they would have and whatever. Cincinnati was fine.
Yeah, they would have gone to the American Championship, but that's a huge get for Wisconsin.
So you have that. You also have my guy, the fixer, the Rulf, if you will, Matt Rule, going to Lincoln, ending up in Nebraska. I've been a fan of this move for a while. It looked like it was maybe going to happen, and then it cooled for a minute after Rule started going out publicly, and it looked like maybe he was going to chill, and then I don't know exactly what changed to get across the finish line, but Matt Rule now going to Nebraska. I believe Nebraska may have, which sounds crazy to wrap your head around, so I apologize if this is off, but it's not off by much if it is. I want to say out of the Power 5, Nebraska may have the longest bowlless streak, or it's something close. Like it's actually been maybe even like shockingly worse than we even quite realize. And Matt Rule, if you look at his resume, yeah, he may be barely above 500 overall, but he's got 2 of the most impressive turnarounds that you've ever seen. And what he did at Temple, winning 10 games back-to-back seasons, and then what he did taking over for Art Briles at Baylor when that program had been completely dismantled and getting it back to double-digit wins a couple of years later. So, I mean, there's definitely some risk there, Jake, because, I mean, you've literally given him more years than winning seasons that he has had. But I do think that it is kind of proven that even if a coach fails in the NFL, if they were good in college before, they tend to come back and be good once again. And he is someone that is no stranger to taking over awful situations and getting them better. So I think this is the exact man that Nebraska always wanted, and they got their guy. Now, like we said, probably wasn't a better fit in the world, didn't feel like at the time, than Scott Frost, and that all blew up. But I don't know. I'm a believer in this hire.
Yeah, I am as well. I think when you look at Nebraska, what the challenges now of Nebraska are, and like we wouldn't have said they had challenges 20 years ago, but they certainly do now. And he was on College Game Day, like the story broke, and he was on College Game Day. I don't know where he was. I think he was on like a mountain hike or something. But he had like his phone, and he's sitting there, and but he actually gave really good answers about, how do you turn around Nebraska? He's like, look, when I was at Temple and I was at Baylor, we had players that nobody else wanted. And now those players are playing on Sundays. Like, we believe in our development. We believe in our scouting. We believe in everything that we're doing. And it's like, he's like, look, we'll recruit to all the resources that Nebraska has, but also we are a program that will have to develop players.
Yeah, that's true. Look at Iowa, right? I mean, that's how a lot of those middle of the pack Big Ten schools have found their way.
You could look certainly at Iowa. You could look at Illinois, what Bielema has done there. You could look at Minnesota, what P.J. Fleck has done there.
Yeah.
I mean, those are similar places, but still don't have the resources as far as money and facilities that Nebraska has. Now,
I was going to say, Nebraska has a lot of money, right?
Yes, they do.
They have a massive they have a massive donor base. And they also have the A&M cultish level of buy-in from the people, which I think if you ever can get it rolling, becomes very impactful.
Now, one of the things will be interesting, when Nebraska's been really, really good, they've done really well in the state of Texas as far as recruiting. Now, you've got a lot of challengers in Texas now. I mean, there's some programs that have elevated their program and where it's at, but Matt Rule spent a lot of time in Waco. Not a lot of time, but he spent enough time to be able to create relationships, I should say. Is that something that can benefit him? Because you can't just recruit Nebraska. Nebraska high school football is not very good. It's just not. I mean, there's not a lot of, like, in that portion of the country, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, there's just not great high school football.
Not a lot of athletes. They got them corn-fed boys.
We were playing the Colts, and the night before we played them, the Saturday night before, they had their state championship games. So we went and watched them in Lucas Oil Stadium. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Let's just say, though, Louisiana high school football, Texas, looks a lot different than Indiana high school state championships. And this was like their 4A. So it was like almost a level, right at the highest level. And so, like, you have to be creative in your recruiting. You can't just recruit those states. And him having Texas ties probably does help their case a little bit. And look, with the NIL, obviously you can go nationwide as well.
Yeah, and that's how, that's why people say, how do you recruit to Nebraska? I mean, if you really have those resources, like if Matt Rule can create a, positive momentum and create that buy-in, well, then I think you can attract guys to go there, because now you can actually pay them as well, right? And hell, if I'm making $100,000 a year, I'll go live in Lincoln, dude.
They pay you in corn or cash?
Hey, I love corn. Speaking of brown fry.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. If you want to feel better, you want to feel younger, go see what Rejuve Me can offer you. Maybe HRT is for you, maybe not. The point is that at Rejuve Me, you can get that free consultation. They're going to draw your labs. They're going to see exactly where your body's deficient and what it needs. And it's not that serious, y'all. Like, there's nothing to be nervous about or scared of. In fact, you can go check out the Rejuve Me Medical YouTube channel if you have any questions, or, again, just go and see them. While you're in there, ask about metabolization optimization, okay? You're going to love the results that you will see from this. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com today.
Yeah, once you go to the website, you can see a list of conditions that they can help you with. Full list of services right there on the website, but I always encourage you to pick up the phone, give them a call, let them know what you have going on so they can help you get on the right path. The number is 225-230-4201, 225-230-4201.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and the crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, November 28th. Your government taco forecast in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 71 and some dense fog, so be careful out there. Coming up on OTB, Bill Bender of the Sporting News joins the show next to talk college football, and we have a new edition of Weekend Winners. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN. Or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OTB Hour number 2. And right now, it is our pleasure to talk to our guy, Bill Bender, who knows the Big Ten and really all of college football inside and out. Talk about some of the big moves over the weekend at Bill Bender92 on Twitter. Catch him in the Sporting News. Bill, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, not too much. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so a lot of big news on the hiring front over the weekend. We just kind of touched on some of it previously. What is the bigger story, Matt Rule to Nebraska or Luke Fickell to Wisconsin?
I mean, I like the Matt Rule hire, but Luke Fickell That's huge. I mean, it's a home run for Wisconsin for starters. I mean, this was a guy that was rumored to be in the Notre Dame mix and turned down Michigan State. And, I mean, Wisconsin has the 6th best record among Power 5 programs in the college football playoff era, and they haven't been to the playoff. Luke Fickell took Cincinnati to the playoff. I think he is a home run for them. He'll be able to develop talent. I think he'll revamp the quarterback position there, and it's exactly what the Big Ten West needs.
You know, for me, Bill, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Luke Fickell, and you mentioned it. Like, there's a couple of jobs that he was rumored to be in on and didn't really want to take those jobs. He felt good about where he was at Cincinnati, and then there's something that intrigues him about this Wisconsin job, and he goes and he takes it now. And so I think it's a home run hire, like you said, for them. I can't imagine someone actually topping this during this coaching carousel. But I want to ask you about Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard, obviously a very highly coveted defensive coordinator. Reports already turned down the Packers defensive coordinator job a year ago. Every defensive coordinator job that's been open over the last couple of years, Jim Leonhard's name has been attached. Like, where does Jim Leonhard, in your opinion, go from here now?
Well, he needs to go to the Packers. As you know, I'm a big Green Bay fan. I watched that game last night. I don't care who the new defensive coordinator is.
Fair enough.
You know, it is interesting to see what happens with him. Obviously, very well thought of defensive coordinator, good mind. And if he doesn't stay, I think it'll show that new Wisconsin athletic director, he's not. It's hard when that whole program's founded on what Barry Alvarez accomplished in the 90s, and maybe they're moving away from that just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things that maybe the program needs. It's something that Nebraska hasn't done for 30 years, and they finally might be doing with Matt Rule.
Talking to Bill Bender here. Bill, what about the big game on Saturday? Michigan, Ohio State, a fascinating game for many, many reasons, not the least of which I think is the rhythm of the game, the way in which Michigan managed to win, where in the first half, Michigan has 10 rushing yards to Ohio State's 120, and in the second half, that flips to 250 for Michigan and just 20 for Ohio State. I mean, you saw a Jim Harbaugh Michigan Wolverine team break the will, like truly break the will of the Buckeyes for the second year in a row.
Yeah, and they stuck with the running game. You know, all the attention in the pregame about Blake Corum, and he tried to give it a go and maybe not quite there, and they stuck with it. They had, like you said, 10 rushing yards at halftime. I didn't think that would be sustainable, but the deep shots from McCarthy in the first half kept them in the game, and he was up to it. I always tell people, to go win at Ohio Stadium, your quarterback has to play lights out. And, you know, from Baker Mayfield on down, it doesn't happen often. So it was a great performance by McCarthy, great performance by Donovan Edwards. I mean, people around here in Columbus are trying to put Ryan Day on the hot seat. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, but that's just how much this game means around here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, you open up Twitter and you see Ryan Day can do this, that, and the other, but he can't find a way to win the big one, to get to a championship, to win that championship, and all this talent, everything that's mentioned with that. And, like, no one gives credit to Michigan for actually, like, over the last 2 years, just going out there and dominating the game. I mean, what Jim Harbaugh has been able to do there, I mean, look, I'll raise my hand the highest. I was like, okay, this Harbaugh experiment's just not working. When's he going to go back to the NFL? But they gave him time. They allowed him to figure it out. And now it's a program that's reaching a height that I honestly, Bill, didn't think they could get to.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, if you really think about it, I think they're in the playoff no matter what happens Saturday. They could lose to Purdue and still get in. I think that they're in position to possibly win the Fiesta Bowl and go get another crack at probably Georgia in the national championship game. And I don't know that they can win, but I know that it'll be closer. Yeah. They're a little bit better than they were last year. So it's a fantastic turnaround. One of the big things that stands out, too, when they were in that losing streak with Ohio State, what's different now, being around that team, being around the locker room, they're not scared of Ohio State anymore.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really a psychological thing. You guys played in rivalry games. You know how much that matters.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on Saturday, too. In anything in life, whether it's like competition, it doesn't have to be, it can be any sport, any game. if you have ever experienced the rush of breaking the will of your opponent, it is like a drug. It is a high that you are always chasing thereafter. And Michigan has done that now, and then they recaptured that high. But so this is what makes the Fickell news so interesting, right? Combined with everything you talked about earlier, the jobs that he had turned down, but the fact that the road in the Big Ten seems as cluttered as ever, right? Like if Jim Harbaugh's got Michigan back to being a legitimate year in and year out playoff team, Ryan Day's now lost 5 games at Ohio State. Lincoln Riley will be joining soon, and look at what USC is doing right now. Like, even with a home run hire like Luke Fickell, like, is Wisconsin, do they have the potential to keep pace and to later exceed these teams?
Well, I think what it does for me is it one potential issue. So they were talking about should they move away from divisions. I think with Matt Rule and Luke Fickell where they're at, and USC and UCLA coming in, it gives the Big Ten an opportunity to make one simple move. You can take Purdue, move them over to the East. Now you have, Lincoln Riley, Rule, Fickell, Chip Kelly in one division, Harbaugh, Franklin, Tucker, and Day in the other. That's not bad. It's not as good a collection of coaches as the SEC, but it's the second best of any conference. That's pretty darn good. And I think that balances the divisions out a little bit. It could make it more competitive in Indianapolis, and it protects the game, which, oh, by the way, 17 million people watched that thing on Saturday. It's
what?
Yes.
17 million.
Mil? Oh, my God.
That's more people that are going to watch Georgia and LSU this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Georgia, now you have when's the last time you had a 3-loss team? Well, it was 2016. Like Jake said last hour, 3-loss team kind of. The LSU loss to A&M took away a lot of the interest, I think, in that game. What is the Big Ten planning on going divisionless, Bill? I don't know. I know the SEC reportedly is leaning towards that. Is the Big Ten as well?
Well, that's the thing. They haven't said how they're going to restructure, but I mean, if you just throw all 16 teams in one conference, there's going to be all those complaints about scheduling and, because I tell people like USC and UCLA, they're coming to the Big Ten. They're going to want to play Ohio State and Michigan on a regular basis. The networks are going to want to throw those games on TV on a regular basis. So same dilemma with the SEC, right? Is like Texas and Oklahoma, they're not coming to the SEC to play Vanderbilt and the Mississippi schools. And with all due respect to them, they're coming to play Alabama, LSU, Florida, and those big-time matchups.
No, I don't think there's any question about it. And, Bill, since we have you here, I definitely want to ask you about LSU because, obviously, we're here. We're close to the program. We're in Louisiana. But somebody from afar that covers this on a national level, like how would you assess LSU, knowing they lost to Texas A&M, but knowing what the expectations were coming into this year and still with a chance to play for an SEC title?
Oh, you're in Atlanta and let it rip and see what happens. I mean, I think it's a highly successful season. It would have even been better had they won in week 1 because that loss doesn't look nearly as bad now because Florida State had a fantastic season. Yeah. So I think, win or lose, when your floor is the Citrus Bowl and your ceiling is the Sugar Bowl, depending on what happens this weekend, that's not bad. And a chance to play in a high-profile bowl game, continue to recruit. I think the continued excellence and development, I know he had a rough weekend this weekend, but Jaden Daniels' development this season was one of the better stories of the year.
Bill Bender, at BillBender92 on Twitter, catches work at the Sporting News, covers all of college football. Bill, thanks so much for joining us on this Monday.
Hey, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much.
Yes,
thanks,
sir. Bill Bender, love Bill, have for many, many years. He used to do radio with me back when I was at WWL.
I think Bill might be like, he was doing radio hanging with Hester in Shreveport, before I moved here.
OG.
He is an OG.
Both of us.
And, he's one of those guys, you ask him a question, it doesn't matter where you go. He's going to have an answer for you.
All right, when we get back, let's do a little weekend winners off the bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Breaking down the biggest matchups in college football each weekend. The Lindy's Football Report, Saturday mornings at 8:30 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU's trip to Kyle Field and the Saints-Niners. We'll also hear from Brian Kelly. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Merry Christmas, happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy holiday. Ooh, yeah. We've been waiting.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Edward O in the chat says, BK looked like a dead man walking Saturday night, just completely shook. He was pale. I don't think so. I think that BK's demeanor this entire year has been that kind of even keel, not going to make more of it than you should, not going to make less of it, where it's basically what he said after the game, right? Tonight, yeah, they screwed up. It's a great learning lesson for this team. Doesn't take away from what was a good year. But that said, it did feel like, yeah, the team got maybe outcoached a little bit on Saturday by Durkin and company, which is wild that not even the Durkin side of the equation, but that Jimbo kind of outcoached you is a little surprising, which, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's probably hard to call defensive plays. They can just line up and beat your ass time and time again. We haven't talked about the Saints yet, which I described as moist flatulation earlier in the show. Just a truly awful game. Your only good player, Alvin Kamara, with multiple fumbles, 0 points once again. You hold them to 13, and it means nothing. Tyrann Mathieu managing to tip up a ball like, a couple years ago that's probably like this incredible pick. Instead, it turns into a touchdown. Just an awful, awful day for New Orleans Saints fans. But we can get there a bit later on. Right now, let's do some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
My first weekend winner is very simple, and he's my biggest winner of the weekend, and that is Brian Robinson's friend. Shout out to the commies. Left hand up. Haters can't stand us. Who are we? The Commanders. They continue to shine right now ever since Heineke took over for Wentz. Carson Wentz sucks. Everybody that has Carson Wentz on their team desperately wants to get rid of him. The Colts ran away from him as fast as they could. Ever since he's got benched, not even that Heineke's incredible, but he's just better at winning games. But in the post game, Brian Robinson, for those who are just listening on the radio, I don't know how to explain it beyond the fact that he has a comically large flat bill Commander's hat on, like a normal size, like fitted, like, okay, it looks like a normal fitted NFL issue Commander's hat. Only it appears as if somebody put like a NFL Blitz like big head cheat in, or would have photoshopped it larger. But that is not Photoshop. According to Brian Robinson, he has a friend who has a big hat company, and if you need one, let him know. And Danny, you're a merch guy. I desperately need comically over large OTB hats to wear. Reminds me a little bit of Norm Macdonald back in the day. A little Celebrity Jeopardy. Big hat.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. Turd Ferguson. This just tickles me to no end. Shout out Brian Robinson. I mean, what did he think, like, putting that on and knowing he was about to go do interviews? I appreciate that, Brian Robinson. That makes me very happy.
Like when you sit and I'm like, okay, it's Photoshop. Like, that's a gigantic hat. It actually looks like my older brother's hat. If you've ever seen him, I mean, he's got a melon head. But that has to be Photoshopped.
It's not. No, it's got like this sort of like, kind of like fitted, like almost mesh thing underneath that wraps around your head and makes it appear as if this giant hat is just floating seamlessly on your head. Also, I kind of wonder, where did I go wrong in life that I don't have a friend with a big hat company? Like, I've got a lot of friends, and if you're listening out there and you count yourself amongst my friends, pick it up, okay? See, I'm about to start cutting off people unless one of y'all comes up with a big hat company. Shout out Brian Robinson. Absolutely love this.
Yes. I don't know that it's going to take off, but yes, it's got a lot of attention for sure. All right, my first weekend winner goes to Shane Beamer in the South Carolina Gamecocks. After they started the season 1-2, they beat Georgia State, lose to Arkansas, lose to Georgia. Remember that press conference when whoever Phil is asked Shane Beamer, did his team give up? Has this locker room given up? And his response was, hell no. What kind of question is that, Phil? We're 1-2. We're 1-2, and we got a bunch of fighters in that room. Give up? That's not part of this football program. Get out of here with that. And when you look at what they've done since then, after that, they rolled off 4 victories in a row, including wins on the road against Kentucky, against Texas A&M. Then they had a loss against Missouri. They came back. They beat Vanderbilt. They had a loss.
The Florida one is
38-6.
inexplicable.
Yes.
That's when I wrote them off in my head and just like, oh, okay, South Carolina sucks this year.
They lost 38-6 on the road against Florida. It looked pathetic. But to Shane Beamer's point, they don't have quitters in that locker room, whoever Phil was, right? And they beat Tennessee 63-38. They go on the road. They beat Clemson. They haven't beat Clemson since Jesus was a boy. They do it 31-30. And that is a massive, make no mistake about it, massive victory for Shane Beamer in South Carolina.
I mean, Jake, this is not exaggeration. This is objective fact. It is the best back-to-back wins in school history.
Yeah.
I mean, they've
Never done it before.
they've never had good football in 130-plus years of South Carolina, and to beat borderline playoff teams in back-to-back weeks. I mean, really playoff teams. Don't even need the borderline. To beat playoff teams in back-to-back weeks is astounding, especially how they did it. Clemson going up early, looking like they were going to roll. And somewhere along the line, Spencer Rattler just decided to be good. No idea how it happens. Like, his deep balls, they're out of control. I don't know where he ended up at, but like in passes over 20 air yards, Jake, so low percentage passes. At one point in the game, he was 6 of 9 for 250 and a touchdown.
And they have like these playmakers just making plays. Like Bell's been fantastic. Lloyd on the ground's been fantastic. Wells has been out of this world the last 2 weeks at the receiver position. So shout out to South Carolina. And we said it when he was hired. There is not a better fit than Shane Beamer at South Carolina.
Well, and it's very appropriate that they close out the game with a special teams turnover, and then they show Frank Beamer in the stands. Yeah. I mean, there is some sort of magic alchemical recipe that some guys just know how to win and create big plays in that phase of the game that other guys, like, it's like Harbaugh in the NFL. John Harbaugh is one of those guys. Certainly the Beamer boys. Like, it's a phase of the game where normally, like, okay, you just want to be okay there. But no, they create consistent game-changing advantages in that phase of ball. It's pretty incredible.
And Shane Beamer, he keeps receipts after the game. Like, hey, Jesse Palmer.
You saw that?
I heard you last night, right? And so that's always a little fun whenever you can, like, keep those receipts and cash in on them. And South Carolina right now, 15th in the country in recruiting rankings. So it's paying off. I mean, they're ahead of Arkansas, Florida State, TCU, Michigan, A&M, Ole Miss. Are ahead of all those teams right now. So South Carolina got a lot of juice to them.
Yeah, Jack Landis in the chat says, we, and I assume he means South Carolina, hadn't scored a touchdown against Clemson since 2018. And now they just
they play every year. I'll remind you that.
Shout out, dude. All right, I got a couple. Oh, no, my next winner is my second favorite moment of the weekend. Oh, you got one, Mario?
Yeah, real quick. How about Jalen Hurts last night? Franchise record for the Eagles yesterday, 158 rushing yards. He breaks Michael Vick's record, which was 130, and he's the first player in the last 30 years to have 125 passing yards and 125 rushing yards in one half. I feel like we haven't been talking about Jalen Hurts enough. He's having an MVP season up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we don't do a lot of general NFL talk on this show, especially when these Saints are awful, and so it doesn't really matter for anything. And also, I think, giving the Eagles credit, which you just couldn't wait to do because you hate the Saints. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, giving the Eagles credit just hurts a little extra bad because all you've done is juice them up and make them better for no reason.
I mean, by the way.
And Jalen Hurts is also. I am glad Jalen Hurts is doing good, though, because I hated how all of my Alabama friends treated him by the end.
The people acting like he wasn't like a quarterback. I'm like,
absurd.
The dude wins no matter where he's been.
He's not a quarterback. Like, get the hell out of here.
More of a winner off the bat than Carson Wentz was, to y'all's point from a second ago.
Well, Wentz, it's crazy. Super Bowl year, Wentz was having an MVP caliber season, but he just never fulfilled that potential. But yeah, like Jake's saying, like Alabama fans would have told you he sucks, he's inaccurate, he's not a quarterback, he's definitely not an NFL quarterback, yada, yada, yada. F you. He like Mario just said, he's an MVP candidate in the NFL. Bums.
My weekend winner is Saudi Arabia. After beating Argentina, their Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Wow, this is a choice, Danny. You giving MBS a weekend winner? Okay, go on.
He offered. He's giving all the players Rolls Royces after their win over Argentina. So shout out Saudi Arabia.
Okay, yes, shout out Saudi Arabia for giving all the players Rollses. Now,
I mean, it's
MBS,
weekend winner.
No, for sure. MBS, if you can avoid violently torturing and killing any more journalists, that would be appreciated as well.
Talking about the players.
Maybe
the players
give
are weekend winners.
Kasani
Get out of here,
Rolls
man.
Royce, dude.
Live, Daddy.
No, look, it would be cool to. It would definitely be cool to get a Rolls Royce for winning a soccer game. This is objectively true.
I'm strictly talking about the players. I'm not talking about anybody else.
So is Mexico done now, Danny?
No, they're not.
Okay. So you still got life. Okay, my next weekend winner, this dude at the Bayou Classic. So if you didn't see this, shout out Southern, by the way, getting it done, win the Bayou Classic. But at one point they cut to the crowd, and you see a man with a long cylindrical object in his hand, and he's holding a lighter underneath it and running a lighter back and forth. And for many of us out there, we have all been there. We have seen that. And it may be the drying of a tobacco wrap for one reason or another. Danny, do you have this tweet pulled up, this video? You can go to play whenever. We don't need sound on or anything. Well, come to find out, it was not a blunt wrap or anything. It was a rib. It was a rib. Our guy was heating up his cold ribs with his Bic lighter in the stands just to get a little warm before he got himself a little snack. I mean, unreal on multiple levels. Look at that. Fat.
I mean, that is...
That is up there with my former teammate and LSU great Saron Black.
Yes, it is.
He got busted in the hotel in the bathroom. The hairdryer was running. And I think it was Big Herm maybe who was wondering, why is it running? What's going on?
Yeah, because Saron ain't got no hair.
There's no hair. Not a single follicle to speak of. He goes in there. Saron is hair drying his chocolate chip cookies, trying to warm them up. But this is even more crazy because, like, that must have tasted awful.
Yeah.
You were just slapping butane taste all over that rib. Like, I think a cold rib would have been better than warming it with the lighter.
That's
I
wild.
do like, too, I believe it was his nephew that later like, quote tweeted it and showed that it was just his uncle warming up a rib.
Because, I mean, who doesn't warm up a rib with a lighter at the football game?
Dude, trying to play Unk, make fun of him in the stands. Weekend winner. And genius. The old commercials, Real Men of Genius, that guy.
It is.
Right there.
It is. Weekend winner for me is Tulane. Tulane Green Wave. They go on the road against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And they win 27-24. They are now going to have a rematch with UCF. They lost to UCF at home in a very good game, 38-31 a couple of weeks ago. Now they get a rematch. It's going to be on ABC, so a lot of eyeballs on this game. It is a home game again for Tulane, so UCF has to go back to New Orleans. Looking forward to this matchup. Tulane's had a hell of a run. I realize the Willie Fritz stuff out there to him to Georgia Tech, but still, they should be incredibly proud of where they're at this year, and it could be a good stepping stone because now, if you're going to lose Willie Fritz to Georgia Tech, it's going to put you in a spot to get a better coach, right? You're going to have the ability to attract someone better to your job if you didn't have this type of run. So if you have to lose your coach, now's the best time to do it because now you can bring in a quality candidate.
That is a positive spin zone for Green Wave fans.
I saw that you noticed the World Cup score too, by the way.
Yeah, well, so there were absolute scenes in Qatar just now where Korea came back and tied Ghana at 2 apiece, and me and Danny love Korean cinema. I was watching all the Koreans go crazy. It was filling me with joy, and then Ghana just came back and made it 3-2.
Yeah, it was 2-0, then 2-2, now 3-2.
So a great game going on right now. But
shout out Green Wave.
No, I would have probably maybe had them as a loser because it sucks that here in the biggest week you're maybe going to lose Willie Fritz to Georgia Tech and how it broke and everything. But like you said, you're in a way more attractive position than you were previously, which is huge for
look,
whoever the next guy's going to be.
I realize the limitations, if you want to call it that Tulane has maybe compared to some other jobs that are open, but also, like, this is a place that just built a new stadium. There is a buy-in at Tulane, and also, like, you can recruit one of the best high school football cities in America. Like, you might not get the top-tier guys, but you can do a lot of damage there just within your own city. Like, we know what type of football is played in the city of New Orleans, and so, like, it's got a high recruiting ground. You have a buy-in. I think it's a quality job, and now it looks as attractive as it's looked in, I mean, how long?
Well, and in terms of recruiting, I mean, the Tulane degree is a pretty nice degree to have.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit, just a modicum better than LSU one. Just a little bit, though. Not a lot.
Right. Just a little.
Just a little. And by little, I mean a ton. My next, okay, now let's get into a couple weekend losers. Danny, do you have the Russell Wilson and Sean Taylor statue videos ready to roll? We'll start with Russell Wilson. I don't know, Russell Wilson said to his teammate coming off of the field, maybe telling him to pick it up or something, and the D tackle got into this man's face saying, I care about this, I care about, and you can see Russell physically cower from him getting in his face, like flinch back a little bit.
It's like, hey, man.
Everybody, yeah, exactly. Okay, no, I got you, man. I got you. We're cool. Let's ride, dude. Dude, everybody in that organization just must be sick of that man making $250 million and just playing horribly and dragging the entire team down. It's not unlike what you're seeing in New York, where finally Mike White gets the opportunity to start, balls out for the Jets. And because everybody in the building knew Mike White was better than Zach Wilson. It's just that Zach Wilson had to play because he was the draft pick. Now they finally get to play White, and look to what happened. And then this is embarrassing, Jake. This is freaking embarrassing. Did you see the Sean Taylor statue? And I'm using this in air quotes. So the Commanders have been pushing this for a while. It's going to be a reveal of a Sean Taylor statue. Right, the old safety that was tragically murdered in a botched home invasion attempt at age 24, one of their great players that they celebrate. Not only is it not a statue, but a cheap wire mannequin. Like the arms are literal hollow wires. It looks terrible, but to me, Jake, by far, beyond it just looking like complete garbage, the most offensive piece of it is a Nike jersey, which he never wore. It is Reebok pants, and it is Adidas soccer cleats, not even football cleats. They literally threw this together last minute like you would like a 6th grade project because Dan Snyder was like, oh, crap, I forgot that we promised we were going to do this. I mean, I don't know why this makes me so angry. It's almost, for everything Dan Snyder has done in mismanaging that franchise, this is beyond the pale for me. It's unreal. The one positive, a moment that you cannot screw up. You have months in advance to plan on this, and you can't even get a fully coordinated uniform ready to roll. Adidas soccer cleats with Reebok pants and a Nike jersey.
Yeah,
you can hear the whole crowd go like, and like some people are cheering. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. There's nothing positive about it, actually. I mean, It is incredibly bad. It's not a statue. It's a cheap mannequin. It's put together, like you said. I think it's the best way to say it. Like, you had the project the night before, and you're like, oh, let me put something together. I mean, you go get a jersey that you had in the back, probably. You get pants that when he played, but then you have these just random cleats, and the wire stuff just looks, it's so bad.
The wire arms are a joke. I made a wire project in 8th grade that looks similar. Dan Snyder, get the hell out of the NFL, dude. Just give it to Jeff. You already know. Give it to Jeff. He'll build a good statue, and the commie fans will probably will finally maybe get what they deserve. That's just pathetic, man. It makes me so angry. All right, that's it for weekend winners and losers. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to DonaldsonGlassandBody.com, DGBAuto.com. Look at this on Get Up right now. Is the Russell Wilson deal the worst in the history of football? That's how bad that highlight of his teammate yelling at him was.
I know a certain co-host that's laughing right now.
Well, Donaldson Glass and Body will never make you feel that way, as you can get the best deal in the history of glass repair or 24/7 towing or any collision repair, anything that you need, your one-stop vehicular shop, dgbauto.com, Donaldson Glass and Body.
Go to dgbauto.com, dgbauto.com. Truly a one-stop shop since 1977. You see in the video, and yes, that is T-Bob. We have confirmed in the video. They've got every latest technology that you need.
Every latest technology,
yeah,
that's true.
Sorry. I still can't believe that's you in the video there. But just go to Donaldson Glass and Body, dgbauto.com, donsonvilleglassandbody.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials.
Join me, Jimmy, out at Charles Handegrift. Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. We're at Spoken Hub Restaurant on Government Street in Mid-City. We recap the weekend pro and college football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Just did a little DK live bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge for all kinds of incredible deals and promotions going on constantly. It lets them know that you support OTB. That is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge. But yeah, you can bet live. And Jake is a bit of a master when it comes to betting live on footy. And so we put a little 3-3 money line play in, boys. Let's go, Korea.
Yeah, we need one more goal from South Korea here. That'd be great.
Easy money.
I think it was at plus 340 right now for a draw.
Yep.
This game is flipped on its head. Usually wait till the 78th minute.
Well, that's not going to help.
So
he just literally set up the Ghanese player on a fast break.
Oh, God.
Oh,
no. Gucci. All right, so I love this. And you're like, listen to the radio, like, are y'all doing play-by-play?
I'm sorry.
Y'all chill with us. We don't ever get this opportunity.
Yeah, it's true.
We're the morning show.
Yeah.
There's nothing ever live while we're on air. So we're a little giddy about it.
And Jake loves footy. It's like his
I love
favorite
footy.
sport in the world.
It is. And I love betting footy on DraftKings.
So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. Minimum $5 deposit. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867.
You know what's funny? What in the thirst trap are you just flashing up there, Danny? Was that Selma Hayek?
It was.
How'd you know?
Yeah, that was Selma Hayek.
A young, chubby 6th grade T-Bob had a very real, a very prolonged crush on Selma Hayek.
I would bet you a 34-year-old T-Bob probably still feels the same.
That is fair. That is completely fair. One situation we didn't get to during Weekend Losers, but it probably deserved to be there. Stop me if you've heard this before. The Auburn fan and booster base appears to be in another toxic Civil War coaching search, as everybody was kind of down with Lane, like they pretty much were. Lane chooses to stay at Ole Miss, maybe very prudently with how you're looking at how this play out. And now you have Auburn people saying, well, Lane wouldn't have fit anyway. Like, we never really wanted, like, Lane probably wouldn't have fit anyway. And then Hugh Freeze was option number B. Well, when Hugh Freeze became a reality, now you have large portions of the fan base pushing back because Hugh Freeze is someone who is synonymous with scandal in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he is someone who is also synonymous with his beliefs and being an evangelist for those beliefs,
right?
And at Auburn, that kind of fits in with the culture. So it's weird. There's a culture war going on at Auburn right now over whether or not Hugh Freeze is a man of integrity and whether or not he is actually the right person for the job.
Yeah, I actually saw last night, I think it was Dan Woken that had he's like, this is a fan base that's okay with Bruce Pearl, but not Hugh Freeze. And then Bruce Pearl quote tweeted and said, I guess he doesn't think too much of me or something.
Yeah. I mean, no, to Bruce's credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Like, he's not DMing students who are.
He was doing what everybody was doing in college basketball.
Part of a sexual. Yeah, exactly. Like, all he was doing was paying players and hooking up shoe deals, okay? That is college basketball. Yes. Dan, wake up. That's really unfair to paint Bruce Pearl in that same light as you're painting Hugh Freeze.
So for me, it's classic Auburn. I mean, just like you said.
Love it so much.
And he's a coach that, like, if you take the off-the-field stuff, it makes all the sense in the world.
Yep.
But, like, the on-the-field stuff is something you can't just get rid of. I mean, this is a coach that wasn't allowed to come back to the SEC as an assistant, right? I mean, much less a head coach. He was not allowed to come back as an assistant. And so I assume, I guess that's now gone to the side if that's,
No,
truly...
saying he's giving him the thumbs up. They are. He is allowed to re-enter the SEC for whatever that is worth.
So there you go. And then, Liberty goes out there and gets housed by New Mexico State this weekend. They've looked really they've lost to UConn. They've looked incredibly poor since they beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a weird situation, but it's like it just fits Auburn right now. Like it's a great job. Make no mistake about it. It is, in my opinion, a top 10 job in the country. If it's not top 10, it's certainly top 15. I think it's top 10. But it's just like, why has it got to be so difficult?
It should be top 10. It is their own toxicity that is maybe holding them back from achieving what they arguably should. They, and I don't know, like, where do they go from here? They've kind of cursed both Lane Kiffin and Hugh Freeze too. I want to say they're almost like 0-6 combined since their names came up for the job.
Think about the Ole Miss portion.
Yeah, like they tainted Ole Miss and Liberty, and that was right after Ole Miss and Liberty won big games. So I will say this: in my own time of displeasure and pain, I am getting some modicum of relief as misery loves company from watching the melt and the civil war of Auburn fans right now over who their head coach should be. Also, it's very funny to listen to all these. And look, it's weird because personally, when I've interacted with Coach Freeze, he's been awesome. He was at Ole Miss when I was being recruited out of high school. He was really cool, really thoughtful and everything. But unfortunately, he has a track record that kind of works against that personal interaction. And it is a bit odd to hear people vouch for him being a man of integrity when he has a lot of moments that would maybe speak otherwise.
I mean, there's been
he'll win football games, though.
There's been multiple things. I mean, things while he was at Liberty, the DM he sent as somebody that was in a current case. I mean, there's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of baggage that comes with him. So now, like, which portion of the fan base is going to win out? Is it going to be look what he does on the field? Is it going to be look what he's done off the field?
Yeah, I don't know.
But now, you're having like Luke Fickell. He's now in Wisconsin, so he's gone. Matt Rule is now in Nebraska, so he's gone. Lane signing with Ole Miss, so he's gone. So if this doesn't work out, if the other half of the fan base wins out and they don't make this move, then you probably have to feel like you've missed out on some of the best candidates to replace Brian Harsin.
Chadwell. I know you're not happy with Chadwell.
I'm not happy with
He had a
Jamie right
backup
now.
quarterback, dude.
I know.
What do you want him to do? James
I know.
Madison's good.
Had a nice little, underdog
Madison's
three-teamer.
good. That was a really good parlay. Yeah,
South
too.
Carolina, Kent State, and Coastal.
Damn. All right, when we get back, close on hour 2 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to ITI Technical College, iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu. It's time to get off your butt and change your life for the better. By going to ITI Technical College, in just 2 years, you get that AOS degree, okay? This is a degree that is going to prepare you for a career, not a job, but a career. And it doesn't matter if it's day or night classes. You don't have classes on Friday, Jake. They can work around your schedule even if you're working full-time. And in 2 years, you get that degree. And then, well, it's a degree that's relevant to Louisiana industry, but they can actually assist you in getting those jobs once you get done. So if you've been putting it off, now's the time to act. Go to ITI Technical College right here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, their website, iticollege.edu, that phone number to admissions, because remember, they're going to help you get to the finish line. They're going to work with your schedule, day and night courses that you can take over at ITI, and Fridays are always also. Even if you have something going on right now, they can help you. 877-591-1070, always online at iticollege.edu.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in
It's Hunt Palmer. Join me Monday, 1 to 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, reacting to LSU and Texas A&M, as well as the Saints and Niners. Hunt and Hill, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 11:30 The Tiger.
10-minute stoppage. Korea threatening. Not quite get it done just yet. We will see. I love, again, how they're handling stoppage time this tournament. Not rewarding a bunch of time-wasting BS. Corner. Let's run. Welcome back to OTB. Short segment here because we went long doing winners and everything else. We making it, boys. We will open up hour 3, and then we got spread lines coming up at 9:15. Maybe this is fine where we get into a bit of Saints talk, though. That's really kind of the most depressing part about the Saints right now. There's just nothing really to talk about. They're just bad. And anything that even starts to look good disappoints you. Alvin Kamara being probably the main offender from this Sunday. I mean, I guess the defense played really good, but it just, yeah.
Sorry. Look, we're new to this. I've told you. I've warned you. It is what it is.
Yeah. Jake, you got all your decorations up and everything?
Good gosh almighty. No, we do not yet. Our neighbors have their Christmas lights up already, and let's just say that the missus noticed.
Bro, you better get your
she
stuff
noticed.
up,
I'm like,
man.
I was like, we'll do it December 1st. She's like, no, that's actually your son's birthday, so we won't be doing it December 1st. I'm like, okay, so we're doing it tomorrow. Probably.
Yeah, I've had mine up. I finally lit them up for the first time yesterday.
Oh, so you're like Clark Griswold, like you waited.
I did. So I did. Yeah.
Big moment, like you plugged everything in.
Yeah. I had them all up, but I specifically waited till after Thanksgiving. I finally got all of the Snow Village and the train and tree all wired up. I built like a custom white platform where underneath I hide all the wiring and everything. And then basically the village looks like very lit up, but you can't see the wires and there's snow. They got the Harry Potter train rolling around. Might do some track cleaning later today.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking
Big track
love a
cleaning
train,
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I got some new track pieces coming in tomorrow.
Oh, who doesn't?
Gonna juice this thing up. I mean, you joke, but you have a couple whiskeys and you start watching that little model train roll around that track. It is.
You know how many
enthralling.
wooden trains I had to buy for Jackson Hester when he was.
Yes.
They had a Thomas the Train store in San Diego that we kept it open. I'm guaranteed of it.
So get yourself a Lionel train set. Dude.
I'm good. I've had my fill of trains.
I'm going to the hobby shop today. Hopefully, I'll send you some links.
Okay, thank you.
I'll
send you to Agutemp.
Agutemp of Baton Rouge. I wish Agutemp could like temperature control my body because I need it. But they can temperature control your house, right? Your AC, heating. and electrical needs, you want to go to AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. It's service to the highest degree. AccuTemp of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, my temperature would get a lot cooler if South Korea could put one in the back of the net here. Just go to AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. Don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, November 28th. Your government taco forecast in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 71. Coming up on OTBOT, Hold the Mayo joins the show for Spread Lines. We also wrap up the show with Ask the Bench. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo. Spread Lines with Devin Snow, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo. Presented by DraftKings.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. And right now, it's time to talk to our guy, HTM, htmsports.com/shop. If you want to get on some of that merch, we got our guy, Hold the Mayo, back with another week telling you who's on the beans and who's off the beans. Dev, what's up, bro? What's going on, man?
I mean, as much that could be going on after seeing LSU lose and then seeing the Saints somehow, some way top that loss with the loss that we had. You know, I don't know how they did it, but the Saints were able to top that misery. You know, misery on top of misery.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a bit of the old Anchorman, you know, Baxter. I mean, the whole week, like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Like, for the Saints to somehow be worse than LSU losing to 1-6 Jimbo Fisher and A&M is and you know what I hate most about it, Dev? It feels like we're stuck in Groundhog Day, right? I mean, here we are once again. Andy Dalton sucks again. Put Jameis back in. Andy Dalton will probably do something frisky next week. We'll be like, oh wait, Andy Dalton's good again. It just absolutely brutal, dude. Just a brutal season for the New Orleans Saints.
All the signs of a really bad football team.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, God woke up yesterday and he said, I want to see something entertaining. I want to see the Saints win a football game. I'm going to lay it all out for them. I'm going to make sure that Tampa loses. I'm going to make sure that all these teams lose. And I'm also going to even help them out. I'm going to put McCaffrey with a hamstring injury. Debo will take him at the game. We're going to lay it all out for the Saints because I want to be entertained. That's what I was thinking. And not even God could save the Saints yesterday. And that's what we
saw. Out of everybody, and there are many people that you could choose from here when it comes to being off the beans, Deb. Who is most off the beans? Who has ignored their Monday tradition for far too long a time out of your New Orleans Saints? Because there's many to choose from. Who is most off the beans?
I mean, the obvious answer would be Dennis Allen, but let's skip past that because we already know that. And let's talk about Pete Carmichael. Here's the thing. When you look in hindsight, you know, I did a space last night on Twitter, and the name kept getting brought up, Eric Bieniemy. You got to just think that if we would have made the right move and got Eric Bieniemy, it's all hindsight, he would have treated this offense like it was his baby, right? Like can't let it fail by all means. And that's the exact opposite what you have with Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael, first of all, I've never heard, in 2022, I've still never heard Pete Carmichael talk. I don't know if he's got a high-pitched voice, a low-pitched voice. I don't know what he sounds like. And it's like that. I don't know. There's that feeling of like he's not treating the offense like it's his baby. You can't come out week in, week out with no identity. What week are we in right now in the NFL? This offense has zero identity. You can't pick one avenue of Saints offensive football and be like, hey, you can expect this to happen this week. You can't because you don't know.
The thing that's frustrating about it is it never seems like, even if something's working, like you don't go back to it, like you go away from it. It's like there's no rhyme or reason for anything they do. It's like you got this set of plays and you're going to run them, Deb, no matter what, instead of like, hey, we just had success with with this. Let's go ahead. Let's try it again in the game. Hey, Taysom did this. Let's keep this in the game plan. It's like he'll have success, and it's like, hey, the next week he'll have one carry. And it's not just a Taysom thing. I mean, it's an entire offensive philosophy. It's like they don't go back to what's working, and that's okay to do. In fact, you should do it. I always talk about it like with North Turner, we would run a zone left, and we pick up 7 yards. Guess what was coming in the next play? Like a zone in some type of a way. Now, you disguise it. It wouldn't look the same, but it'd be –
like a Texas A&M.
Yeah, it'd be kind of the same play out of a different formation because you have success running that play, and it's just like they don't go back to what's successful when they do have success.
Yeah, and I mean, look at like just take a guy for example, Rashid Shaheed, right? I got him on the beans list because him and Olave, real talk, like that's your two guys that you could say absolutely, you know, you got some with those two guys. Like you have to sign this dude Shaheed to a few years on contract. He's shown you enough. But the problem is they don't go back to this dude. Like he had 2 catches yesterday for 53 yards. Like, what more do you want from this guy, right? And you don't go back to him. Include it. I mean, dude, your season is pretty much done. So why not let these guys play that are showing up? Rashid Shaheed, I mean, Alvin Kamara, bro. 7 carries for 13 yards. I know we've seen this in his body language before, so I don't want to jump to conclusions. But one, look at this play and be like, yo, this dude is checked out. But we've said that before, and he's come back the next week and scored 3 touchdowns. Just kind of like you don't know. But 2 fumbles, I mean, how many times can you get the ball on the goal line and not score? Like, we needed Jacob Hester yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Like Jacob Hester would have got in the end zone at least one of those times, right? We had no rhythm, no flow. Like, get the ball on the 50, get the ball on the 40, and there was just nothing every time.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kamara, I still love Alvin Kamara, who doesn't. He's still a great player, but there is no doubt that yesterday he did not eat his beans. I mean, beginning of the fourth quarter, you're only down 13-0. You have a touchdown, and to fumble away any chance of even getting a win or being frisky, absolutely awful. Other people on the off the beans list today, I'm assuming you still haven't gotten your pies yet, your Hubig's pies?
No.
Unbelievable.
No, I still got my pies. We don't know. Pushing 4 weeks.
Wow.
Right now, I'm just looking for my 12 pies, bro.
I think I'm on the off the beans list because Parlay Addicts is on there.
Yeah.
I think I fall on
the only problem is everybody
list.
needs to be clear. Jake is the only person that I know that wins enough parlays where he is actually up. Like, he actually makes money on them. But it makes me angry. I'm probably with Dev where, like, you know, I everybody thinks they're supposed to just win these parlays. Like, guys, there's a reason why you're getting plus 800 odds. It's because you don't have a chance. Like, it's probably not going to work out. Like, you have to know that going in when you make this, like, 8-leg insane NFL parlay. Like, there's a reason.
NFL parlays are the most difficult of any.
There's a reason why you're getting these odds. It's not just free money.
It's fair.
I think the action that really defines a parlay addict is somebody who takes those big, long parlays, right, consistently, but also sends them. Like, this is a parlay addict to me. And I have, like, 7 of my friends who do it every day, right? So, like, they'll pick their big, long, not going to hit parlays, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll send them to me as if they want me to take it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're an addict, bro. Like you're such a parlay addict that, like, you're trying to give yourself clarity by sending all these parlays to other people. And it's like, dude, I haven't responded to any of the parlay sends.
Well,
you know? So it's like,
and they love to talk about how they were only 1 or 2 legs off. Of course you were. That's how this works. Again, that is the entire point. Is that all it takes is one misstep to lose? But so close. So get the hell out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Hell up out of here.
Seattle Seahawks would have won the game yesterday, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. There we go. Perfect.
Hey, I had a nice 2-leg parlay until the Ravens lost yesterday. It's just I can't even hit a 2-leg.
But here's the deal. Also, nobody, like, you know how people say that nobody cares about your fantasy team? I don't give a damn about your lost bet. Like, look me in the eye. I could not.
Right.
I could search myself as hard as possible, and I could not find even a modicum less of an F to give about how you lost this bet. So, like, just stop texting me about it. Stop telling me about it. I just don't care.
I'd rather you send me recipes.
That'd actually be great.
Long recipes.
Like fantasy football, like when you have a state that has legal sports betting, like, I don't hear anybody talk about fantasy football anymore. Not to say people don't do it.
You're right.
But
you're
now that
right
sports
about
betting is legal here in Louisiana, think about the last time you heard somebody complain about their fantasy football team.
Yeah, no, all my group texts from, like, all the dads around the neighborhood now is just the exact stuff that I'm talking about.
Yes.
It just talks about parlays and who missed where and yada yada yada.
Just my fantasy production in general has went down. You know, like, I'm in 3 leagues this year. It's the worst I've ever done in 20 years of playing fantasy football, like, by far. So I think that's a good point. I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, I just like betting more.
Hey, who's on the beans this week, Deb?
And real quick, I had to put Arch Manning on the off the beans.
Oh yeah, why is Arch on off the beans?
I mean, dude, they got obliterated, man.
Oh, did they? I don't know.
You put it on them.
Oh wow, what are you gonna do?
Put it on them, bro. I mean, and that's it, huh? I don't know. Does Arch Manning play again before he goes to Texas?
I
think
guess
that's
not.
it.
Yeah,
That's it. No, he's a Longhorn.
There you go.
That's it. So there you go. Next time we'll see him, he'll be a Texas Longhorn. That's another reason to put him off the beans.
Agreed. Well said.
On the beans, Tyjae Spears, man. I mean, it's time that we start talking about this kid because speaking of fantasy football, I'm telling you, man, within the next 1-2 years, this guy's going to be on your fantasy football team. Tyjae Spears is like everything you want to see out of running back. Dude, the body language, you could just tell, man. He's just like, I don't know, man. Like, he's going to be the best back to come out of Tulane since Matt Forte. Like, it's not even close. And Matt Forte was a pretty damn good running back.
Yeah, Tyjae right now averaging on the year. Let me find it here. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's got 14 touchdowns and 190 carries. Jake, he has almost 1,200 yards. Beast.
He's the best. I mean, he's the reason that they won. Like, I mean, without him, they don't win against Cincinnati. He just took over the game.
Who else is off the beans? Who else is on the beans here? Let's see. You got our guy Regis Prograis on here. What's going on?
Regis Prograis won a championship over the weekend. Not a lot of people talk about boxing. They definitely don't talk about Regis Prograis enough. He went in there, handled business, knocked the dude out 1,000% on the beans. I mean, dude, Regis Prograis only got one loss in his whole career.
Yeah, and it was in a championship match, right? It was at the end of that very long tournament or whatever, like I think last year, maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was like during COVID, and he had to go to London. And I remember watching the fight. The dude he fought was really exceptionally good, So, and that's the only time he's ever lost a fight. So, shout out Regis Prograis, shout out Justin Jefferson, who, I mean, I wish, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish, man. Mike Thomas sitting tweeting, and Justin Jefferson is week in, week out, just on the beans. Rashid Shaheed, like I said, Chris Olave, Caden Ellis.
Yeah, Caden Ellis.
I mean, it's crazy.
It has been.
Dude, Caden Ellis. I mean, that's a guy, he should be starting for the rest of the year, no doubt. Like, don't even question it. He's earned his spot on this starting roster.
Hey, what about our I see early Christmas shoppers sneaking in there at the end, and I don't want to brag, boys, but I finally didn't screw it up. I actually have, like, almost all of my wife's gifts already wrapped, already at the house.
Wow.
Yes. And Jake, you may not know this, Dev, but Jake has been there when I have gotten in a lot of trouble for screwing this up. I think it might have been a birthday or something. We were all out to eat. And basically my wife said something about how there better be a gift on Sundays. Maybe it was like a Mother's Day or something. And at the dinner table, you could see the blood drain from my face. And I started to sweat immediately as I knew that not only was I not prepared, but I wasn't going to have any time that weekend to get the job done.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it put me in a bad doghouse. So, eventually we all got to learn. And yeah, I'm finally on this early Christmas shopping train, and it feels fantastic. I feel as responsible as I've ever felt my entire life.
Where do we stand on Black Friday? Just overall right now, because
you know where I stand. Hey, put me something on sale that I want to buy. Like, okay, you put crap. Like, whoever does the Amazon deals or wherever, like, give me one thing on sale that I actually want to buy. I find Black Friday to be so overrated because everything that they put on sale just sucks.
But it's also like the hype of Black Friday is dead. Like because you have so many other days now. You have Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
You have whatever. It's just like, I remember when Black Friday was like, man, you'd eat Thanksgiving and you'd be ready to wake up the next morning and go shopping. It's gone pretty much. Like, everything's online. I don't know what they're putting on sale, but I mean, I don't want a Dyson vacuum cleaner for 20% off. You know what I'm saying? It's still really expensive vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
I do love the Dyson X. It's incredible.
Okay, we got
Dude,
fans.
I mean, carpet.
Mayo's not.
You guys got carpet, bros?
No.
I have one room that I think
kids'
in
room
my
does.
house. The kids' room,
does.
the kids' room has carpet. Yeah,
But,
it's the only room that has carpet in my house.
No, but that Dyson wireless
Maybe
thing
two.
is actually pretty nice, dude. I'm not gonna lie. If that's on sale, that actually might be worth a pick.
I just found that carpet, like, growing up as a kid, my grandma had carpet in the house, like, everywhere. and it was like that shaggy St. Bernard Parish carpet, you know?
Yeah.
But I found that the carpet smelled like whatever you were cooking that day.
Yeah.
You know, like if you were cooking hamburger helper, the carpet smelled like hamburger helper.
Hamburger helper.
God, I love hamburger helper. I used to love hamburger helper so much. Was she a...
Which else favorite hamburger helper? Which else favorite hamburger helper?
I mean, I feel
potato
like just
stroganoff. Or beef stroganoff. No, beef stroganoff. Yeah, that's it.
I feel like just the basic beef cheese and macaroni.
They're all good. There was a potatoes with cheese. I don't remember what that son of a gun was called, but it was delicious.
Yeah,
cheesy hash brown.
Oh,
is that what it was?
Okay.
Cheesy hash brown. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. They also had like a cheeseburger macaroni, which is like real redneck, but we enjoyed it at our house.
Was your grandmother a smoker, Dev? The only reason I ask is because that shag.
Every grandmother was a smoker.
That's what I'm saying, right? And that shag carpeting, I mean. The tobacco smoke molecules would latch onto that, and at a molecular level, it would live inside of that shag carpeting.
Yeah, one of my grandmas was a smoker. Not the one that I'm talking about with the carpet, but one of them, she was a big smoker, smoked in the house with my dad's mom, and she also had like 13 cats. That's a real smoker.
Oh,
just cats roaming around the neighborhood. Like they didn't even live at the house. They just like roamed around the neighborhood, fending for themselves, and they'd come back for food.
Dude. Yes, dude. Hell yeah, man. All right, Dev, tell everybody what you got going on this week on Hold the
Mayo. Really, I mean, merchandise is flowing, so I'm dealing with that. You know, shout out, honestly, you know, I'm on the beans because I healed a pinched nerve that I had for 3 weeks, and it was in my back. You know, I wasn't really saying much about it, but it was just the most miserable thing ever. Like I couldn't even really sleep. But I finally got it, man. I looked up a video on YouTube. So no doctors, no medical professionals. I looked up a video on YouTube, and this guy taught me a stretch that literally like healed me, bro. So I'm happy for that. Get back to merch. I'm shipping out merch. Just signed a deal with a Beta beer.
Hey,
so I'm working with working with them now. So yeah, I'll send y'all a holiday beer package too before it's all said and done.
Our guy Deb Snow got some great merch coming out. atmsports.com/shop. Thank you, Deb. Merry Christmas. Talk to you next week, man.
All right. See y'all. Take care.
See you, Deb.
All right. When we get back, more OTB.
OTB.
Hey, Jake, get ready to give him Thomas' cell phone number, okay? Riverlands Insurance. Jake's going to give you Thomas' cell phone number because you're going to want to call Thomas or Megan, email, and they're going to get you right, man. They're going to, like, what could be better than saving hundreds to thousands of dollars a year, which you can then spend on a vacation, you could spend on extra Christmas presents, like whatever the case may be, whether it's home insurance, auto insurance, business insurance, all insurance, they shop around, they find you, savings, they find you the best policy. And look, there's things like your home insurance is just rolled right into your mortgage a lot of times. You probably don't even know what you're paying. And the thing is, Jake, you don't even need to know. Just call up Thomas and let them do all the heavy lifting over there at Riverlands Insurance.
Yeah, this is important to know. Like, I'm going to give you the phone number. It's a 225 area code, but we're talking to the entire state, right? We're fortunate enough to be on in the entire state, so we're talking to everyone listening in Louisiana. 225-206-1517. Call Thomas today, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, As I always told my boys,
Do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU's trip to Kyle Field and the Saints-Niners. We'll also hear from Brian Kelly. Join us for Monday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the
Hold
house...
it now, wait, hold it. That's played out. Hit it. Don't you give me all that jive about things you wrote before I was alive. Cause this ain't 1823, ain't even 1970. Now I'm the guy named Curtis Blow, and Christmas is one thing I know. So every year, just about this time, I celebrate it with a rhyme.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Shout out Hold the Mayo. If y'all want to go ahead and get your questions in the chat, we can start to get into some questions. I mean, look, man, it's a weird day. I feel absolutely awful. We're trying to push through today. I literally, the only reason I came into work today is because I did not want it to look like I was running away from Jimbo and Texas A&M. I did not want it to look like I was shirking my duties. So we'll see what happens on tomorrow's show. But we have almost made it today. And look, it was a really great day of college football, or a weekend of college football outside of the very disappointing loss. Again, I was astounded at what Michigan did to Ohio State. And if you're an Ohio State fan right now, you got to be torturing yourself a little bit. Because after beating them 8 years in a row, this now 2 years in a row, in which you haven't just lost, you've gotten your ass kicked. And it was fascinating to watch that game flow, Jake, where it came out, Ohio State marches right down the field. Touchdown. Credit to Michigan for doing enough and finding a way to get a field goal on that first drive. I feel like that kind of, like there were a couple plays early on. There was a touchdown, and then again, Ohio State was marching right down the field looking like they were going to score again. They ended up holding to a field goal. Like there were a couple plays that Michigan made to kind of stabilize the game. And then something that I never would have expected, Jake, was the rise of J.J. McCarthy and the fall of C.J. Stroud. Because it was obvious what Ohio State was doing, right? They were selling out to stop the run, and they were saying, no, let's make you prove. Like if you think about game flow going into that game, if I would have told you that Michigan had 10 rush yards to 120 for Ohio State at halftime, you would have said Michigan was getting their ass kicked. I believe they were down 20-17 at half. You also probably would not have guessed that it would have been the Michigan skill players who had the big plays. But that's exactly what Ohio State was doing. They were loading up. They were going to say, hey, no, we're going to force McCarthy and those Michigan wide receivers to prove they can beat us over the top. And huge credit to McCarthy. He did just that. And look, I get it. Like, J.J. McCarthy is not as good of a traditional quarterback as C.J. Stroud is. Of that, there can be no doubt. But on Saturday, his grasp of the game flow, his ability to execute on those big plays, to then force Ohio State to play more coverage, to then be able to take advantage of that very good Michigan offensive line, lean on Ohio State, and eventually break their will, it was excellent. And C.J. Stroud, on the other hand, Jake, look, he's in a bad spot. He seemed a bit like Jaden Daniels by the end of the game, where he was just confused. They were getting pressure with 3 and 4 up front. They weren't winning at the rate that they thought they would with Marvin Harrison Jr. and company. And at the end of the game, Michigan wasn't just a little bit better. They were much, much better.
Yeah, and remember Michigan, their quarterback situation at the beginning of the year with McNamara, and then you had J.J. McCarthy, and it's like, all right, Cade's going to start this game, and then J.J.'s going to start the second game, then we'll make a decision, which was wild. And then obviously Cade ends up getting hurt and makes the decision easier, although I think J.J. McCarthy would have won out that job. And look, there's things that he still has to improve on. Like, he was 12 of 24. Like, you want to complete more than 50% of your passes in 2022 college football, but he also threw for 263, 3 tuds, and no interceptions. So, like, he is somebody that has a very high ceiling. I don't think that he has reached that potential just yet. I think he still is a player that's going to continue to grow, and next year it could be one of the names to certainly watch out for when it comes to, All-American type quarterbacks.
Well, and to be clear, that's why, I'm not even saying that, like, him just purely throwing the ball is anything to write home about in this game. What he did have, though, was an excellent feel for the game flow.
Yeah.
When they needed a big play, when to run, when to pass. And the whole time that he was getting better, it was like he was stealing power from C.J. Stroud because Stroud just continued. Like, the more combobulated that McCarthy looked, the more discombobulated that C.J. Stroud looked. Is that true? Can you be combobulated?
I don't know. I really like to use that, though. I'm all here for it. I mean, I'll definitely co-sign on that.
Okay, I'm gonna look this
with
up
you.
real quick.
The thing,
and Michigan's offensive line. I mean, that's
right. That's exactly where I was about to go. I mean, look at last year. I mean, Haskins had over 1,000 yards. Blake Corum had right at 1,000 yards. Then Blake Corum is not in this game. He only has 2 carries. But then Edwards, who's been really good all year, he comes in 22 for 216. The running backs have talent. I want to give them some credit, but the offensive line is the story here.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, you can place a talented player behind that offensive line, and they're going to have success. It is a unit that won the Joe Moore Award last year. They're going to be up for it again. They might win it again this year. That is the story for Michigan. Up front, they will dominate you. Even a team with the talent of Ohio State, it doesn't matter. They're going to dominate you. In Ohio State, like you said, T, they were daring them to throw, and they did, and they had success. It didn't matter, though. They stacked the box, and they still were able to run the football in the second half. They had everybody – like, there wasn't a player deeper than 7 yards, it seemed like, for Ohio State for much of the second half, and it didn't matter. They still couldn't stop Michigan.
Yeah, and a great O-line and a great rushing attack, if you think back to your junior high science classes, it works like erosion, right? Where at first those rocks that those waves are hitting – those rocks are going to be very jagged. They're going to seem like they're standing firm. But over time, they get worn down. And the water wins out in the end. The water smooths them out. Like at first, Ohio State's defense, they were that jagged, standing strong rock. And by the end, they were a pebble. And I go back to what I said earlier in the show with Bill Bender where, and Jake, you felt this. You don't have to be a football player to feel this. You probably you can feel this in a lot of different avenues in life. But when you're in competition and you break the will of your opponent and you know they want no more of you, it is a drug almost unlike any other. It is a high that you will spend the rest of your life chasing. And Michigan got a taste last year, and they got another hit this Saturday. And this time, there can be no excuse.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather, in the shoe, no Blake Corum. Like, where is the excuse if you're an Ohio State fan? No, it wasn't in the big house, wasn't snowing. It's not like you were missing, you were missing in Jigba. They were missing their best player by far. Like, we all thought if you didn't have Blake Corum that Michigan just would be crap. It's also credit to Illinois' defense, who I know you've been very high all year long. And now if you're Ohio State, I mean, Ryan Day said before the year he wants to be remembered for something more than just being really talented. And again, it looks like you're just going to be remembered for being really talented, but not actually winning anything of import, at least not when it comes to what Ohio State wishes to win. And the renaissance of Jim Harbaugh. We thought he was dead in the water a few years ago.
100%.
And now to be back-to-back potential Big Ten champions, back-to-back playoffs, that's wild. After losing your rival 8 years in a row. Like, they took the step that LSU fans were desperately hoping to take after 2019. They built off of that year, and they're now saying, no. This was not a fluke.
Right.
This may end up being par for the course. Now, granted, in that same token, LSU's 2-2 against Alabama the last 4 years, so I do like that. But they built upon their 2021.
They did. It's a great point because, like, you have to do that because if you want to take dominance in a rivalry situation, it can't be a one-off. It has to be a situation where you do it multiple years in a row. And for Michigan, they had, all these expectations for so long, and we just thought they couldn't live up to them. And so for them to do it multiple years in a row, to show that one time last year wasn't just a one-off, and now they're a program that can truly build something because they lost assistant coaches, they lost first-round picks, they lost, things that kind of make it hard to have the year that you had a year ago if you're not set up right. And this year has shown that they're set up right now. Like the culture they've built there, what they've built there through recruiting and bringing in the right assistants when you have one leave and being able to elevate a guy to replace Aiden Hutchinson, who was the number 2 overall pick. Like, that's how you have to show it because you did it multiple years in a row. And now I would be shocked. Everyone would be shocked because Purdue's a bad matchup against Michigan. Like, if it was Illinois, like, that's a better matchup. Purdue, I don't see them have – sorry, Gordy. They don't have a chance. So you're going to be Big Ten champs for 2 years in a row, and it's just something that we didn't think they could do because they just never lived up to it in the 8 years before.
Crazy, man. Crazy. And you know what? Jake, you want to talk about making statements on the biggest stage? 17 million people watch that game. Very interesting graphic in one of my text groups. 15 million people watched USA England. So 17 million is not just the highest rated college football game of the season, but it does also, I mean, the fact that it beat a literal major World Cup game that's not like U.S. versus Iran or anything. No, USA versus England on a Friday afternoon with nobody competing with it, save for a Baylor football game. Michigan Ohio State beat that.
17 million is a gigantic number.
Gigantic.
I mean, it's the most watched football game, I believe, since 2011. College football game. I mean, so you're talking about over a decade.
Said? Okay, that makes sense. What was 2011?
I don't know which game it was.
I wonder if it was a game of century, maybe.
Ooh, maybe.
Not to brag. 9-6. That's 21-0. What are you gonna do? Aggregate doesn't shine too kindly on us in that one.
Neutral site, though. Neutral site.
Looks like combobulate is not a word.
Unfortunately.
Though there are kind of, you could say that it means, to put together in order to bring something out of a state of confusion or disarray, but it's not a real word. Right. All right, more OTB next.
OTB, OT.
Join the G Team. That's right, man. You want to get it done? Get it done with Gordon. Gordon currently giving away hundreds of bikes to those in need for this holiday season. If you want to register, go to GordonGives.com. Register by December 12th. And look, like we tell you, man, whether it's the LSU women's basketball team or some of your favorite players on this football team, be on the lookout for the new commercial with Jaden Daniels and Mason Taylor. They got it done. You get it done as well. Whenever you need any local personal injury attorney resources, or you need whatever, you already know. You need that personal injury attorney. You need to join the G Team and get Gordon.
Yeah, we'll give you a couple of ways to find out that information. GetGordon.com is the website. Check that out today. Also on social media, the handle, @GetGordon. You can find it on Facebook. You can certainly find it on Instagram. You can find @GetGordon on all social media platforms. Also, 225-888-8888 is the number. Get Gordon today.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime, Hunts and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around?
Join me, Jimmy, out at Charles Handegrift. Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. We're at Spoken Hub Restaurant on Government Street in Mid-City. We recap the weekend pro and college football. Game time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true.
OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you today. Shout out Mariah. Why are you shaking your head, Mario?
I'm not shaking my head. I'm just smiling.
Oh, okay.
Hey, another coaching vacancy now open that we haven't talked about, Stanford.
Yes, David Shaw stepping down.
I mean, David Shaw had a lot, and I mean a lot of success at a place that had not had a lot. I know Harbaugh did some good things there, but I mean, David Shaw kept that program at a very high level for a very long time. Obviously, it fell off there the last couple of years, but interesting name out there because David Shaw, if he wants to, will certainly get another opportunity, and then Stanford now is open as well.
David Shaw feels like he's suffering from Jimbo disease on steroids almost, though. like he is from a bygone era of football.
Yeah, I mean, he feels like he would definitely like a pro system, like a pro opportunity would be better.
Tickled by a Twitter box score screenshot that I saw where David Shaw once punted from the 29-yard line for a touchback. And so punted a net 9 yards in a close game. Didn't trust the field goal. Didn't want to go for it. So punted from the 29. Ends up going out the back of the end zone.
Oh, boy.
Look, no, but Shaw was awesome. Like, Shaw in Stanford was awesome until he was not. It's kind of odd, Jake, because growing up, like, Stanford was awful, right? I mean, I'll never forget that 2007 game when Harbaugh had them beating number 1 USC, Richard Sherman, catching the ball on that fade. And ever since then, they were actually really good. It was kind of like they were a year in, year out. Okay, maybe Rose Bowl, like they were a legitimate Western power, and now they've kind of fallen off again. And I wonder, will they revert back to what they feel like they were the majority of my life, or can they recapture what was a really nice run? It's kind of like the Saints, right? That's a fear right now. Are the Saints going to revert back to what they've been the majority of their history, or can they recapture what they've had the past 15 years? It seems like trying to hold on to what they've had the past 15 years has really cost the New Orleans Saints. I wonder how Stanford handles getting out of the Shaw era. Like, who do you even hire? Wonder.
It's a place that, you know, like Northwestern, like a Vanderbilt that has high academic standards, and there's difficulties maybe getting certain players accepted into the school. Like we know all those challenges. It's going to take somebody very creative, I think, to turn it back into the program that we have seen it be, 6-7 years ago. And there's an opportunity with USC and UCLA leaving the Pac-12, for somebody to step up and join Oregon and Utah and the others. I just don't know if it can be Stanford. That's a very difficult job.
Well, look, Washington's got a ton of juice now.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer's done a hell of a job there. Washington State is vastly improved. I know they didn't win this weekend, but they were really good this year.
Oregon State.
I was about to say Oregon State as well. So it's a little crowded in the it's more crowded in the Pac-12 than it has been in many, many years.
I know a lot of people in this part of the country don't like to maybe tip the cap to the Pac-12. Pretty damn good conference this year.
Yeah, I agree. Better in the ACC.
Oh, by miles.
All right, when we get back, let's do a little. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? No, you're right. When we get back, let's do a little Ask the Bench.
OTB, OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. That is the website, and All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge is the dealership. If you go to the website, you can check out all the great Toyotathon deals, and no matter what type of vehicle that you need, or you can actually just talk to people right online there, or just go see them off Airline Highway if you like to interact face-to-face and look at their Toyota certified used inventory. If you need to rent, dude, I've seen a lot of people with pictures of like going to Disney and stuff right now. Seems awesome. Low population time. You want to go on that family vacation? You need to rent a Toyota Sea in a minivan. You want to go see Miss Lisa Sessions at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Go to All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, maybe you're driving to Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Maybe you want to rent a Toyota for that trip. You certainly can do so. Also, if you have family coming into town for the holidays, it is the perfect place to go to get something bigger. Maybe you want a minivan, maybe you want a full-size SUV. Rent a Toyota today, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Professional golfers John Peterson and JJ Colleen answer all your golf and life questions inside the new Drop Biscuit Studios podcast for the people. Download or subscribe today at dropbiscuit.com.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication. Great.
We get it done with passion for our fans
and love for our community.
We are the Tigers.
Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
It's Hunt Palmer. Join me Monday, 1 to 3 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, reacting to LSU and Texas A&M, as well as the Saints and Niners. Hunt and Hill, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Melikilikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway.
OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to a little Ask the Bench. Brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon.
Alaska.
Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench. Mario has cheeseburgers. Jake has cereal. What foods do T-Bob and Danny have? I have an addiction to Chinese food, probably, is what I would say.
Yeah, you do.
Not that I eat it often, but like every time I do, I never feel good about myself, and I tell myself I'm never going to gorge like I just did again, and then all it takes is like one mention of like sesame chicken, and I just can't escape it until I once again gorge.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it's probably two things. It's I got a big sweet tooth. Like, I can't stay away from dessert after a meal. It feels like I needed one. And then
Really?
chips. Potato chips.
Oh, I love potato chips too. That's another good one, Danny.
I go through like 3 bags every week.
I can't have chips in the house. I just eat them. If it's my kids, if they get it, I just end up smashing. It's the tastiest food on the planet.
Yeah.
Just some tasty salt. Like, it's got a great texture. The salt potatoes. Oh.
And you can't just have one. You got to go through the whole bag.
Yeah.
Chips, not crisps.
Yes, true. Like that commercial. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Carly Wooder wants to know, you putting anything on LSU in the championship game? What's the spread?
I don't even know that I've actually looked at the spread. Let me see what it is.
I'd have to see what the number is. I do like a bounce back.
17 and a half.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I feel like they will like go pretty hard against LSU after last week. I am kind of terrified of Georgia. I think I would take. Okay, yeah. If I'm playing that, I don't know if I'm going to play it yet, but if I'm playing that, I think I would take LSU plus that 17.5. Actually,
Line's inflated a little bit since LSU lost. Just in my
yeah,
opinion.
that's what I'm thinking. Maybe. Hashtag ask the bench. What's one Thanksgiving leftover you definitely try to save but ultimately throw out? The dressing.
I
did eat it.
Crushed all leftovers.
Yeah, I did too. I've been making leftover sandwiches.
Y'all both finished?
No, I still have a bunch of turkey, but I'm gonna make a gumbo today.
I finished. No, I didn't. We didn't cook. Like we had it in Shreveport, made a huge thing to go, but transported that thing down to Baton Rouge and heated that thing up yesterday and crushed it.
I probably got about 2 gallons of turkey stock that I made too right now. It's really good.
2 gallons?
Yeah, I gotta freeze it and save it.
Sheesh.
Hashtag ask the bench. What was the best dish served at your Thanksgiving lunch/dinner? The homemade gravy was the best part. It was incredible. We really nailed the gravy this year. I was very pleased.
Cornbread casserole is always my favorite.
That sounds so good.
This is kind of off-brand, but I love a good green bean casserole. We made a really good green bean casserole with the crispy onions.
Yeah, no, it's always hits.
It was good.
Always plays.
Big mac and cheese.
I screwed up the mac and cheese bad.
Imagine.
Ask the bench. What is Danny getting T-Bob's mom for Christmas?
Danny?
Is it a marriage ring? Remember, marriage is not a gift; it's a commitment. Danny,
Is that what the comment says, or you added that on?
No, she said that. No, he said that. What are you going to get her, Danny?
That's a surprise. I'm not going to announce that on the radio.
Okay.
He's listening.
All right, yeah.
You think Teresa's listening at 7:52 right now in Malibu?
Yeah.
She does listen randomly. Actually, she could be.
Shout out.
Hashtag ask the
More
bench.
than Caitlin does.
Do you know the differences between a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell?
What do you think?
I think a prokaryotic cell has a nucleus and a eukaryotic does not.
I think you're right.
Sure.
Ask the bench. I saw the new Strange World movie yesterday with my kids. It was all right. Very good visuals. Story kind of left a little bit to be desired.
Doesn't look great.
So, I mean, the visuals are stunning. It was really cool.
Are you ever going to say a movie's bad?
No,
I'm
because
waiting for you to
yes,
say
no,
movies
there
bad.
are definitely. Well, you got to understand, Danny. I'm generally not going to see a bad movie in theaters because since I don't go often, I'm not just going to take a shot on a movie that sucks. Like I saw this one because it's a kids movie, and so I want to get my kids to have some fun or whatever. But no, I'm not going. Back in the day when I would just go to the movies, once or twice a week, then yeah.
That was utopia.
I know.
Just go to the movies whenever you wanted to.
I know.
I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh, how was it?
Didn't love it. It's kind of like, why'd they do this? To be honest with you. Just saying. Wasn't great.
Hashtag ask the bench. I do not make gumbo twice a week. But look, I got a lot of stock.
I feel like you do make gumbo twice.
Yeah,
Whoever
you make
said
at least
that.
twice a week.
It's gumbo season, dude. I got a new baby. I need to have some fresh gumbo for the baby.
I mean, that's fine.
On Friday.
I'm not judging you, but it does feel like you make gumbo twice a week.
Ask the bench, if you make Thanksgiving dishes during other parts of the year, does it ruin their specialness? Yes. At the same time, I think I want to start making a turkey 2 to 3 times a year just to really start to nail the turkey down.
Ham's the best part.
By far player.
That is a good point, though. It's like, I really love cornbread casserole, green bean casserole, hash brown casserole. It's like, we can make those other times as well.
Do y'all do turkey for Christmas every year, or do y'all switch it up?
No, we do a roast.
Yeah, I do roast beef too.
We do a roast for Christmas.
I only care about one thing, and that is we call it coffee cake. That's not actually what it is. I think it's more known as monkey bread. But that's sort of like for scarcity thing. We do that with this monkey bread where the only day you have it is Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so sweet and gooey and doughy and delicious that my entire life I look forward to it so much. Yes, I agree, Todd. I will fill that baby bottle with some room. Look, hey, remember to go to Page Plus Urgent Care. I'll actually be heading over right after this, Jake.
Yeah, I should too.
I'm going to go to Page Plus, see what's going on, man. It's that time of year, and they are the best urgent care in the city. See you tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar,